Why did you become a recording artist?
Because for as long as I can remember, all I ever loved was music. So, yeah, I feel like it was just meant to be that way.
How did you get into hip hop music specifically, that genre of music there?
Just listening to it, catching the best vibes with it when I was listening to it.
And was that the first genre of music that you encountered?
Yeah, I would honestly say yes. Of course, my parents played R&B, but hip hop was the first one I gravitated to.
And what do you think caught your attention with hip hop?
The putting together of words and making it all make sense.
Now, was it a certain song or artist that got your attention back then?
No, I would say all of them. I had a wide array of artists that I listened to.
And do you remember what grade or what age this was for you?
I would have to say early elementary school, honestly.
And when it comes to musical influences, did you have any?
Yes. Um, all of the Southern artists, Dungeon Family, Outkast, Goody Mob, my brothers, um, Bone Thugs and Harmony, um, the Nas's, the Jay-Z's, of course, and the list goes on.
Some of these names that you just mentioned to us today, what drew you to them? Start with Outkast. Start with Dungeon Family.
Outkast, being able to relate to them, you know what I'm saying, and them speaking the language that I spoke. That made me gravitate towards them heavily, and that goes with Goody Mob as well. Just the thought that they put behind the music of sounding modern, but also dropping some knowledge inside of it. You know what I'm saying? That made me gravitate towards them.
Bone Thugs.
Just the harmonies that they used, and it just sounded like how the old R&B groups used to stand around a trash can and just rap. It just sounded like they were just putting it all together and vocally making it make sense.
Nas.
Wordplay, stories, just the way that he painted a picture with you musically.
Jay-Z.
Lifestyle, his wordplay, of course, just the picture that he painted made you want to live it.
Now, of these names you just mentioned, and you said my brother, so who are you referring to there?
My brother Oslo Panama and my brother Manolo Prado.
Oh, these are your biological brothers.
Yes.
And where do you fit on the sibling ladder?
I'm the youngest.
And which one's the oldest?
Oslo Panama.
And sounds like they both did music before you.
Yeah, for sure.
And when it comes to these different musical influences you mentioned, aside from your brothers, because they're your siblings, the non-biological recording artists you mentioned, have you had a chance to personally meet any of them yet?
Yes, I met Nas, I've met Goody Mob, I've met Outkast, both members. I've met and those are probably the most I can say I've met. I met T.I. as well. I didn't mention him as one of my influences, but T.I. as well.
Now, was it just meeting or did this go past meeting? Did you actually get a chance to collaborate with any of them?
With T.I., I actually collaborated with him. We just did a song recently, and me and Gip Goody are about to do some music together as well.
How did the T.I. collaboration happen?
The day that I put out the Dro video, it had to be the day after. I just got a random call to my phone, and it was T.I. saying he wanted to work.
And in what capacity?
He just wanted to do some music with me. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, I see what you got going on out here. I think you're dope. I want to see how we can work with each other, help each other, and let's get together and work. And it happened, for sure. Within a week it happened.
Did he say why he was drawn to you? Did he say why he wanted to request your services?
Yeah, he said it just it put him in a mindset of just a real trap activity whenever he looked at the video, just how it played out. And I had on the Millionaire jersey, but it was based off of the Atlanta Braves logo. And he said, that caught my eye as well. So it just reminded me of real Atlanta.
Now he has on his Hustle Gang imprint a recording artist named Young Dro.
Yeah.
Do you think you having that song titled DRO, which is Dro, that acronym there, do you think that may have caught his attention, being that he has a recording artist named Young Dro?
I thought about that as well. I believe it did, but he didn't say anything about it whenever we spoke.
And did he say, by any chance, how he came across that song?
Yeah, he said it was one of the popular Atlanta blogs that posted it, and he saw it on there, and it caught his eye.
Do you know what the name of the blog was?
Yeah, Dirty Daily. Shout out to Starter Cam.
Now, has any of those collaborations with you and T.I. Surfaced yet?
No, not yet. I'm in the process of getting the song mixed, and then I'm hoping we can shoot a visual to it soon.
And it's a song of yours featuring T.I.?
Yes.
Care to share the name of it yet or no?
Right now it's called Swimmer.
But it could change any time between
For
now
sure.
and when it comes out.
Yeah.
And how often does that happen? Song title changes.
Often. Very often, especially when you start a session. When you start a session, you might just name it after the beat, or you might just name it after the date, or just what time it is, or you might name it after a Porsche, or you might name it after just anything. And then whenever you finally get the title, you say, okay, that's cool. And then you might hear somebody listen to it and say a name for it, and you be like, I like that better than what I thought of.
Now, when it comes to T.I.,
Yeah.
all right, when people have a musical influence,
Yeah.
Person's music they hear, visuals they see, they have in their head an image, expectations of what that artist would be like if they had a chance to meet them in person.
Yeah.
For you, when you met T.I.,
Mm-hmm.
did he meet those expectations? Did he supersede those expectations? Or did he fall below expectations?
I honestly didn't have any expectations of him because I don't know him. I don't really try to judge nobody's character off of knowing them, especially when you see him on TV. They might not even be that person in real life. So, but when I met him, he was real cool and laid back. You know what I'm saying? Way more attentive than he was talkative. So, you know, that's something I paid attention to.
And was he easy or hard to work with in the recording studio?
Very easy to work with. Play the beat. Let it loop. All right, I'm ready. Come on. Same way I work.
Were you nervous or intimidated working with T.I.?
Not at all.
Why not? Some would.
Because I do music. Anybody else in the room that do music with me it's not intimidation, it's competition at that point.
Do you think there would be any recording artist you would get in the studio and ever feel nervous or intimidation with?
Not another recording artist. Maybe a label head or something, but not a recording artist.
And why would a label head do that to you?
Just because they don't do what I do. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only reason. I wouldn't be afraid of them not liking what I'm doing. It's just about the pace that I work at. You know what I'm saying? The way I work. Those would be the things that I would think about, but I would get the job done regardless.
How did you learn how to rap? What was that learning process like?
All right, so when I used to listen to music as a child, I always nod my head to the beat or off the beat. It was just something that I did. Nod my head, and then one day I just started freestyling. And I freestyled around friends, and they're like, that's hard. And then I wrote my first rap, and ever since then, it was a rap.
Do you remember what grade or what age this was?
13.
So, self-taught.
For sure.
And it sounds like this was something you wanted to do on your own, but could it have been a suggestion for you to do? Did somebody put a battery behind your back, perhaps?
Oh, no, it was just something I always wanted to do.
Now, at this point, are you a full-time recording artist?
Yes.
How long would you say you've been full-time for? Rough estimate.
I say 10 years.
And it's 2020 right now.
Yeah, for sure.
In these 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
have you ever signed a recording contract?
No. Never signed no deals.
Have you been offered a recording contract?
Yes.
Independent record labels, major record labels?
Independent.
Who?
I mean, it's not a major independent. It was just some rinky-dink record labels that have always tried to approach me and get me to rock with their label. When I was in a group, we got offered major deals from major labels.
What group?
The Embassy. It was consisted of my brother Manolo Prado, Baby Doe, and K.O.
What happened to that?
Um, After a trip to New York, when we got back to Georgia, we were still doing music, but it just kind of dwindled away after a while. And we did a lot of things as a group.
Who put the group together?
People in the crowd that saw us perform a song together. I was always a solo artist, and then we did a song called Money Machine, and we used to go record it. We used to go perform it. And every time we performed it, they felt like we was a group because we always said EMB when we performed. So they automatically thought we was a group. Even though it was my song featuring Manolo and K.O., they thought it was a group. So whatever gonna get us the win, we gonna do.
Were you the leader of the group?
I don't believe in leaders whenever it's a group.
And no hard feelings.
All right.
No hard feelings after the group disbanded.
No, not at all. Not at all. We still do music together and everything.
And when things dwindled down, was it all the members dwindling down? Was it a certain member that started to dwindle down and then others dissipated, or how did that work?
I would say Manolo started taking the clothing more serious, which is what he does primarily. He does clothing. K.O. got into becoming more of the social media guy. He became very popular on social media. And then Eskimo Doe, he still does music. You know what I'm saying? We still record together and everything. And I always just kept headstrong with music.
And when it came to the group disbanding, was it just a natural progression of time, or was there a conversation saying, hey, this ain't gonna work anymore?
Just a natural progression of time. That's it.
And when it came to the group name, who came up with that?
I want to say, I can't even remember, honestly. Embassy Music Board. Who came up with EMB? I can't remember. I want to say it was either Doe or Manolo. One of the two.
When it came to turning these independent record label deals down, contract offers, things of that nature, looking back, did you make the right or wrong decision doing that?
I made the right decision. Definitely made the right decision.
Also, in these 10 years, ever felt like quitting?
Never.
Why not?
Because music, all I know, music is what I know I'm good at. So I would never, ever try to quit doing music. It just ain't never been a thought of mine, never crossed my mind. No matter how discouraged I get or how, you know what I'm saying, how much attention I'm not getting, none of that matters to me. If music is what I love, that's what I'm going to do.
Risk versus reward. What's the biggest risk you took for your music career so far?
And, how can I say this clean?
Take your time.
The biggest risk that I took for my music is penitentiary chances. I can just leave it at that.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, for sure.
Why?
Because it was able to fund everything I needed to do musically.
Proudest accomplishment so far in your music career?
VMA Award.
Explain.
Wrote a song named Dinero for J.Lo, which features Cardi B and DJ Khaled. That song went on to go gold. It went on to win a VMA Award. It went on to win a BMI Award. And that's one of my proudest accolades that I've accomplished whenever it comes to music.
And how did you become a part of that song?
Through my friend Tommy Brown. Tommy Brown is a big producer out in California. He's from Pittsburgh originally. He's the one who produced the song that got me and the group popular back in the day, actually. He was going by the name of Crack King, and he produced a song for us called Money Machine. And around that time, I had started doing engineering for Block ENT. And I was always in the studio with Gorilla Zoe. And one night we was just in the studio, and Gorilla Zoe didn't have no beats. So I was like, I got somebody that make beats, and I called Crack. So whenever I called Crack, he came up to the studio. He walked out of his job at Sears. He left the store. And he came up to the studio and he got his first industry placement on Gorilla Zoe's album. So he then went on to work with Dark Child and Black Eyed Peas and Ariana Grande and Meghan Trainor and Khaled and a bunch of big other names. But he always just remembered how dope of a writer I was. So he reached out to me and I went out to California for weeks at a time, months at a time, and we was working. And then one night when I came back to Georgia, he called me like, I got this hard song we working on. It was Scooty and Danny Lay we was working on the song for, originally Danny Lay. And we wrote it on FaceTime. It took about 30 minutes to write the song. And then like a week later, Crack called me like, bro, you never guess who want the record. And he said J.Lo. I said, oh, that's crazy. 2 weeks later, she laid it. And a few months later, Cardi laid it. Then Khaled wanted to hop on, and from then it was history.
So, rough estimate, from the time you initially meet Tommy Brown to the time you actually win this VMA Award, how much time do you think that took?
The full 10 years. Yeah. The full 10 years.
Did you ever see this coming?
Not as a writer. You know what I'm saying? I honestly didn't. Like, I always knew I could write for other people because I can mimic people very well. So through that, I can act like another artist or write in another artist's voice in my mind and get them to deliver it the right way. So, but J.Lo, you know what I'm saying? I was just watching Selena not too long ago, and I'm like, damn, you wrote a song for J.Lo. You know what I'm saying? You wrote a song for Selena. So, you know what I'm saying? So that was mind-blowing, honestly.
Now, when it comes to writing a song of this nature, are you able to share what part of the song you actually wrote?
Everything J.Lo said. Whatever J.Lo said in the song, I wrote. At least 85% of it.
Did it come out how you envisioned it when you wrote it? Did she bring out what you wrote to life?
Yes, because when we wrote it, Danny Lay was in the booth cutting it as we was writing it. So it came out doper, honestly, because the beat sounded so big on it. Once it got mixed, the beat sounded so big, and it just sounded crazy because they flipped the salsa sample. And of course, I grew up on salsa music because I'm Panamanian. And the way that the vocals just laid on the beat and how in pocket they were, it sounded crazy.
Now, I hope I'm not being redundant here, but just in case I missed a detail, I want to ask you this question in regards to this song. So was the song intended for Danny, and it so happened to lay into J.Lo's hands, or? That
was a good play on words. Oh. Danny, Lay. That was a good play on words. I don't even know if you did it on purpose.
We'll say I did for interview purposes.
Yeah, but it was originally for Danny Lay, and then she ended up hearing it. I don't even know how she ended up hearing it, but she heard it, and she wanted it. She wanted it. She waited on Cardi and everything for it. That's hard. Like, that's big, man.
Now, do you actually get, because it sounds like, in this process, it sounds like you do the song with Danny, the producer, and it ends up getting into J.Lo's hands at some point. Did you ever get a chance to actually personally work with J.Lo?
No, not personally work with her. I missed the video shoot because I had something to do as an artist in Atlanta. I could have flew out to Cali and went to the video shoot and would have, you know what I'm saying, got a chance to, you know what I'm saying, rub elbows with them, but I chose to stay here and do something as an artist, and but I never got to personally work with her. I would love to, though.
If she's watching this interview clip right now,
anything
you would say to her?
Let's work.
Got another one for her, possibly?
For sure. For sure.
Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, in these 10 years, biggest failure so far in your music career? If that was the proudest accomplishment, what was the very opposite of that? Biggest flop?
Not getting the credit that I deserve for helping a lot of people's careers get built, and not getting credit for a lot of songs that I wrote.
Now, when you say not getting credit for the songs you wrote, are you talking about you're a ghostwriter, no one knows you even touch these songs, or?
Yes. As in, don't get a paycheck, don't get nothing but appreciate that. But that's when I was younger and didn't know much about the logistics of it. And yeah, that's some of the biggest failures is that, because I had a hand in a lot of songs that matter.
Care to share what?
No, but it's some Atlanta classics.
If you bump into these artists again,
Mm-hmm.
well, I don't know. Have you bumped into these
Yeah,
artists?
for sure.
Okay, all right. What is the conversation like? What is the temperature in the room like? Is there tension in the air between you and them? Is there, I don't know.
No, it's always positivity, because at the end of the day, paperwork ain't got nothing to do with the artist to an extent. You know what I'm saying? Like they not in the offices building up the paperwork, the split sheets, and all the things that they turn into the label. It's not on them. It's really not even on the label head. It's on me for not even. Like I said, I was younger, working, just happy to be in the environment I was in, so I wasn't even too much speaking up. I was kind of just playing the humble role. But you know what I'm saying? I can't blame nobody but me.
In this 10-year span that we've put together so far,
Yeah.
how long do you think you played the humble role for?
Till today.
All 10 years?
Still humble. And to a fault.
If you were the opposite of humble, though,
Yeah.
where do you think you would be? Where do you think that would have gotten you?
A lot further. If I was more boisterous and just cocky and an asshole, I'd be a lot further. I can't lie, I would. But it just ain't in my nature to be that. Like, that shit lame to me. You know what I'm saying? When somebody hold their nuts on somebody, like, that shit lame to me. I ain't really into that.
What's the single best thing you've done for your career? And when I ask you that, I mean more like a tactic, a method, not so much an accomplishment, but single best thing you've done for your career so far out of these 10 years.
Watch the things I say and do. That's the most important thing to me as being an artist. Watch what you say and do.
Explain.
You know, just certain things I may want to speak about via social media, via in the room with people. Just watch what you say and do. You know what I'm saying? Like, put a filter on it to an extent. Still be real, but just put a filter on the topics you choose to touch on. I think that's one of the most important parts. I think, you know what I'm saying, it's a lot of judgment in the industry. So whenever you choose and pick your battle the right way, I believe you win further.
How does one know those boundaries?
Read the room. You got to read the room, man. You got to. Gotta read it to a T and understand. I'm not even gonna get involved in this right here. I'm gonna get in my phone and just keep it pushing.
How does one learn how to read a room?
Shit, instinct. You know what I'm saying? Feel the energy. If you don't know how to read the energy, then you gotta learn. Some people will get themselves in the door and walk themselves right back out of it. They will be shocked to know how quick an entrance turned into an exit.
Biggest mistake you made in these 10 years?
Being too humble. That shit bit me in the ass plenty of times, man. I can't lie to you. It really has. It's a lot of people that I would love to say something to, but you know what I'm saying? I just keep it cool, because everything done in the dark gonna come to the light.
Now, when you say biggest mistake you made, being humble, and that's when I asked you what your biggest failure was, you said the same thing.
Yeah.
But to fix that, it would be the opposite of that, to be boisterous and cocky and things of that nature. But you also said that that's not you.
Yeah, facts.
So is that a catch-22? Are you stuck between a rock and a hard place there?
Very hard. Pause. Like, it's fucked up, because it's not my character to be that overly boisterous and, you know what I'm saying, that type of guy. But at the same time, in my music, you hear it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to really listen to my music to understand, like, oh, this nigga cocky as fuck on his music, but when you meet him, he real laid back. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. It's like almost like the Master P effect. Like when you meet Master P, you're like, damn, he humble as fuck. But when you used to listen to his music, he was the most shit popping person you could meet. You know what I'm saying?